You've just picked up your new, or new to you, 4x4, or you might have even had it for a while, but have just recently decided that you'd love to get into off-roading. You already have your new, larger off-road wheels and tires, along with the suspension lift installed to clear the size of the new tires. Oh, and by the way, thank you for your business, and we certainly appreciate you getting them from us at TrailBuilt Off-Road. And you already have your first trip all planned out to go hit some trails with your buddies. So what are some things to expect on this first adventure out? Well, my friends, stick around because that's exactly what we're gonna find out today. Now, this may sound like a small thing in the grand scheme of things, but make sure and overpack on food and water, guys. I've been in way too many situations where something went wrong and I couldn't think clearly because I was so damn hungry. Plus, you just never know if a day of wheeling could turn into a day and a night or even a couple of days of unexpected wheeling. And having enough food and water will keep your body and your mind energized. Plus, keep your spirits up too. Also, almost as important as food and water is making sure you have the right tools, recovery equipment, and extra clothes along with you to ensure a successful trip and return should something go wrong. If you have a winch, double check that the winch remote is in the vehicle before leaving. A good motto to remember is to always hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. If this is your first or even second trip out, your nerves are probably gonna be a little on edge along with a higher level of anxiety, so just take it easy. Get some seat time in your rig and don't fall victim to peer pressure, which is way easier said than done. Just about every time I've broken something or dented something, it's because of peer pressure. So just do your best there. Because you're probably going to feel more anxious your first few times out, take out a piece of paper and write these couple of things down and bring this note with you. Once you get to the trailhead, take this note out and let's go through it. Number 1, air down the tires to about 15 pounds of pressure. If you have selectable hubs, now would be a good time to lock them in as well. Number 2, buckle your seatbelt. Number 3, shift the transfer case into 4 low before hitting the hard obstacles. Number 4, listen to and watch your spotter. Number 5, go slow until you can't anymore. And number 6, set your parking brake before jumping out. So real quick guys, let's go through what some of these mean. Airing down your tires is one of the best ways to gain additional traction while off-roading. 15 pounds of air pressure is a pretty safe amount to go with to go down to without having to worry too much about popping the tire off the rim or bead seat. It also allows for a smoother ride on bumpy trails. If it's going to be mainly mud that you're going through, then I wouldn't recommend it going below around 22 to 25 psi in order to retain as much ground clearance as possible. Plus, if you're aired down too much when going through the mud, you might get a bunch of mud packed in between the rim of the wheel and the bead of the tire and will cause the tire to go flat. If it's deep snow, then this one is tricky and vehicle specific. You want flotation through the snow, but you also don't want to lose ground clearance either. If you have nice wide fatties for tires and a light vehicle, then you can air down a lot more than someone with some pizza cutters and a heavy vehicle. Best to rely on your experienced peers if you're not sure what to air down to. And again, if you have selectable lockouts in your front hubs, now is a good time to lock them in since you're already going to be letting the air out of the tires. One thing I always do, and recommend this to you as well, is to make sure your lockouts engage by grabbing your tire and rocking the vehicle. Sometimes the lockout's teeth won't perfectly align with the teeth of the hub, and a little rocking motion will get them to mesh together. Usually when that happens, you'll hear a slight click telling you that they popped in place. Sometimes you can even feel them lock in when you're turning the lockout, but it never hurts to rock the vehicle a little just to make sure. While the tires are airing down or before you hop back in your rig, now is also a good time to make sure all of your gear is strapped down. Nothing worse than taking a shackle to the back of the head, not that I've had that happen, but I sure wouldn't want it to happen either. Also double check your recovery gear is ready to go. Your strap or rope is easily accessible, the recovery receiver is pinned in with the screw type shackle already in it, and your winch remote is readily available too. Nothing worse than being unprepared for a recovery when there's a line of people behind you waiting for you to dig out all of your crap from the bottom of a storage bin and then trying to put your recovery gear together when it's buried under a couple of feet of mud. And once you've double checked you're all ready to go, buckle your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. If you have to stop for any reason, get into the habit right away of setting your parking brake. Even if it's parked on flat ground, it's best just to keep the habit going and put it in your muscle memory to set the parking brake. And actually, I learned this while at the Bronco Off-Rodeo in Texas last year. Not just setting my parking brake, but the best way to set your parking brake is to hold the foot brake, shift the transmission in neutral, then set the parking brake, release your foot off of the brake pedal, let the vehicle settle in place with the parking brake set, push the brake pedal and shift the transmission into park. By doing this, you're doing two things. One is not having all of the weight of your vehicle relying on that little pin that keeps your vehicle in park. And number two, after setting the parking brake and releasing your foot off of the brake pedal to let the vehicle settle, you're ensuring that it isn't going to roll away on you should the parking pin in the transmission happen to fail. Or you forget to put the transmission in park. A good way to get into the habit of doing this is to do it with your daily driver every time you park it somewhere. I actually do this with my Highlander. As funny as it sounds, every time I park it, I throw it in neutral, set the parking brake, take my foot off the foot brake, let it settle, and then throw it in park. And that's a true statement too, I actually do that. Anybody who drives with me actually wonders what the hell I'm doing. But hey, once you get into the routine of doing it that way, you won't even have to think about it once you hit the trail. Just don't forget to release the parking brake before venturing on. Same goes with shifting the transfer case into four-wheel drive. An easy mistake to make if you're not used to doing it. If you know you'll be running mostly faster trails, snow or mud, then 4 high is usually the go-to. But crawling, most hills, and in most cases for that matter, it's best to be in 4 low. The easiest way to remember is to use 4 low for more control. And again, if you're not completely sure in that particular circumstance because you're unfamiliar with the trail, just reach out to a buddy in your group and ask if you should be in 4 high or 4 low for this trail. And they're not gonna laugh at you for asking a legitimate question because even experienced drivers wanna know the same thing if we've never been to a particular trail before. Another thing that will help put your mind at ease is that in almost every situation where there are some pretty fanatical or even challenging obstacles, you're gonna have someone there to guide you through that feature called a spotter. Similar to like in motorsports racing, there is always someone warning or guiding the driver through the headset or what to look out for. A spotter will be there to do the same thing, but will be positioned far enough in front of you to be able to see their hand gestures, but also close enough so that you can hear them as well. When using a spotter, it's important to pay more attention to what the spotter is telling and showing you than it is to what you think you should be doing. Even if it feels unnatural or counterintuitive, the spotter has your back and is going to be able to see what you're about to drive over much better than you can, even if that means making you feel like you're about to tip over. Just have faith and trust in your spotter, and unless they're a real asshole, they're not gonna risk your safety or even unintentionally cause damage to your vehicle. Also, a good thing to write on your note is that when the spotter calls out driver, it means turn your steering wheel to the driver's side of the vehicle or to your left and counterclockwise. If they yell passenger, then turn your wheels to the passenger side of the vehicle or to the right or clockwise. This helps maintain uniformity across the board with communication between the driver and the spotter. Plus, they are usually facing you, so their left is your right and vice versa, and that just gets way too confusing for the both of you. So then, what did I mean earlier when I said number 5 was to go slow until you can't anymore? Well, it means pretty much exactly what it is. Always try and maintain slow and steady speeds while trying to navigate the trail and obstacles. But there are certain conditions that just can't be crawled at a slow pace, and momentum is going to be your best friend. And if you need to gas it, just try and do it sensibly. Even if it means taking a couple of slow shots at the obstacle to get a feel for just how hard you're gonna have to hit it to get up and over whatever it is you're trying to get over. In Moab, Utah, they call it the Moab bump because a lot of the obstacles require you to have to hit it with a little bit of gas in order to be able to bump your vehicle up and over that said obstacle or feature. Too much gas can cause you to completely lose control and you could end up on your lid or off the side of a mountain cliff. Not enough oomph and you could end up bouncing your rig up in the air only to come down with enough force while the tires are still spinning that the axle shafts, U-joints, ring and pinion, or something else in your drivetrain will tell you to F off and it explodes into tiny little pieces. This is why you'll want to get as much seat time in your rig as possible and have a spotter to help you out, and eventually you'll know exactly just how hard you have to hit it to bump up and over the thing you're trying to climb. But until that happens, just take your time, take it easy out on the trails, stay on the trails and pick up your trash, and have fun enjoying this newfound sport. And never be afraid to reach out for guidance. And if you guys do have any questions, definitely make sure and let us know in the comments below. Or even if you're an experienced wheeler, let us know what additional tips you would give to anyone just beginning their newfound adventures in off-roading. Would be great to hear from all of you. Also guys, if you are just getting started in building your off-road rig and need a new set of wheels and tires, a suspension lift, or even some accessories including recovery gear like winches for example, to make sure and check out our huge selection on our website at TrailBuilt Off-Road. Plus, we'll have a link posted right in the description as well. And guys, as always, we appreciate all of you for watching and all of your support. I'm Josh from TrailBuilt, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.